Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big, weird, wild world out there, folks, and here we stand. Al pie del cañón, ready for anything. I'm Rob, that's the Natch, and you're listening to...
The Promo Show!
I need to edit the introduction, Natch. I don't have enough air to get through the introduction. How you doing, boys and girls? It's Wednesday! Pa-pa-pa-pa! We made it! We're halfway through the week, friends. We're halfway through the week. Where was I yesterday? Well, Richard Vaughan took over the studio, so there is, if you're not currently listening to the podcast, my friends, there is a fresh episode from yesterday ready for you. It was a fascinating show, Natch. Yesterday's unpopular opinion was everybody should use they, them pronouns. And you know what? Everyone said no. No, don't like it. Don't like change. Yeah, but you should listen to the show because I think I put up a good argument, but people were too resistant to change. Let's see how I do today, right, folks? A big good morning to Born to Iron Man, Eugene, Min, Pedro from Instagram, The Bridge, and all the good people joining me in the live audience today on twitch.tv/professional bohemian. That's Bohemio Profesional, pero en inglés. All right, I thoroughly tortured the elves this morning, and they gave me a show, friends, directly to me for you. Okay, so here we go. I asked 100 humans to name a place where you're asked to turn off your cell phone. Nombra un lugar donde te pidan que apagues el móvil. Apagues el móvil. Apagues. Oh, Spanish. I've only been here 20 years, you know what I mean? You've got to give me a little room to maneuver. If anything, for our international listeners, see? You don't need a mastery of the language. You don't have to worry about making a fool of yourself. Look at me. And then in today's Complete the News, we'll find out why a German couple got married in McDonald's. It's a good one. It's a good one, Natch. And then we have, of course, in the first half of the show, an amazing unpopular opinion. Cities should prioritize pedestrians and cyclists or drivers of patinette, like our dear Oracle over there. They should prioritize pedestrians over cars. Las ciudades deben dar prioridad a los peatones y ciclistas. I needed to calm down now, so that was my problem. Too many coffees. Sobre los coches. There you go. Good morning, Vero. Good morning, Mr. Cruzando. But I'll tell you what, guys. I'm here. You're here. Let's do some cleanup and find out what's going on in the world. Guys, there will be no live show again tomorrow on the radio if you're a radio listener. Oh, wah, wah, wah. Two things you can do to solve that problem. Number one, you can subscribe to the podcast on all good podcast directories. Or you can come and join us on Professional Bohemian on twitch.tv/Professional Bohemian. And tonight at 6 p.m. we have another controversial Probo show after dark. Woo! It's a hot one today. I think the last one we swayed to the political left. This time we're going to sway to the political right, and we're going to do we're going to do something about voting. I don't want to spoil it, but that's coming up later on today. Natch, I'm on air for 3.5 hours today. I think that qualifies me as a reality TV star, right? All right, let's continue. So some news, some interesting news. Here we go. The SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's nearly unavoidable that AI will cause a financial crash within a decade, the SEC head says. El jefe del SEC. So es casi inevitable. It's nearly unavoidable that artificial intelligence, que la inteligencia artificial provoque a financial crash. I don't know how you say that. Would you say quiebra financiera?
Yes.
Oh, Natch.
Nivelazo.
With these nivelazos, you're really spoiling me today. en una década, según el jefe de la SEC. I don't know how you say that one in Spanish. So yeah, Gary Gensler, the head of the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, warned that the integration of artificial intelligence in financial services could lead to a market crash within the next decade. He emphasized the potential risks associated with the widespread reliance on AI models by financial institutions, suggesting these models could contribute to economic instability. All right, so I read this headline, which was, by the way, I think from Forbes. From Business Insider. It's the stock market section of Business Insider. Do you know what this sounds like to me, Natch? This sounds like rich people scared. Do you remember our show about replacing politicians with AI? Okay, and the fact, because right now they are not incentivized to introduce policies like a universal basic income. They're not incentivized to implement things to assure that people will have enough money when the job market inevitably shrinks due to the inclusion of AI. Okay, they're not incentivized, so let's replace them with AI. Let's give them an incentive to work for us. So that was my argument for that unpopular opinion. Seems like the introduction of AI models in the financial markets are worrying our stock market friends. Uh-oh. Bwah, bwah, bwah. This sounds to me like some fear-mongering. There'll be a stock market crash. According to Warren Buffett, he could hire monkeys to be market analysts, and it would make no difference. So why would AI cause a stock market crash? You know? Come on, go home, SEC. You're drunk. Let's see what people are saying in the chat. Vero says, good morning, beautiful warriors around the universe. Mr. Cruzando, good morning, guys. The Bridge says, I love this hump. This hump? This hump? Isn't that a Black Eyed Peas song or something? I don't know. Hello there, says Ronnie. The Bridge, Rob, but making a fool of yourself is not the point. The key is aspiring to be the best at whatever you do. Be it a twerp or whatever. I feel like, I'm doing well at being the best idiot possible. So there you go. That's news from the SEC. Sounds like a little panic mongering. I think our financial bros are worried about being entirely replaced by artificial intelligence, which I believe artificial intelligence could do pretty effectually. I don't think there'd be any difference other than a bunch of rich people being slightly less richer. Let's move on to Netflix. Netflix plans to open brick-and-mortar locations. Do you understand that phrase, Natch? Brick-and-mortar? Kind of means physical locations. I don't think you have a comparable phrase in Spanish. Netflix planea abrir locales físicos, I think you would say. Brick-and-mortar locations. Kind of a frase hecha. Am I teaching English? Sorry, something wrong with me. Netflix, known for its online streaming, is taking a surprising step by planning to open real-world stores called Netflix House in 2025. Aiming to offer a mix of shopping, food, and live shows related to its TV series and movies. This big move is like creating mini theme parks for Netflix fans, allowing people to experience the worlds of their favorite shows and movies in a new way. What this is Netflix trying to kind of capitalize on the idea that Walt Disney had, creating Disneyland, or Richard Vaughan had, creating Vaughantown. Having a physical representation of their brand, which is ephemeral. At the time, before Disney had a theme park, there was no kind of physical kind of thing you could touch that represented the company. So they created a land, and there you go. You want to be immersed in Disney? Well, Netflix wants to be involved in that movement too. Would you go to Netflix land or Netflix house, Natch? Would that be something that you'd interest? No. Right? Mm-hmm. Casa de Papel. What would you do in the cat?
Well, if Ursula Corberó were there.
Bueno.
Maybe making some premiere, doing some premiere.
You know, you could go and see the professor and find out what's going to happen in the next 20 years. Because he's got it all planned.
To give you advice about investment.
Yeah, weird. I don't know. Seems odd for a company that has only just recently become financially viable. I mean, they ran a complete loss for the longest time. I believe now after the password crackdown, they're actually making money again. So now you're making money. What we're going to do? We're going to spend it all. Yay! That, Rob, is something I always say to Cristobal, says The Bridge. Ronnie says, like Blockbuster? Yeah. Interesting. Did you guys know that Blockbuster almost bought Netflix? There was a time when Netflix... I don't know how old you are if you're listening. Judging by my... Judging by the demographics I see on my podcast downloads, most of you are between 35 or 25 and 55, or 35 and 55. So you guys already know this. But if you're younger listening to the show, Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix. Netflix used to be like a Blockbuster, a video rental store. But instead of having a physical location, they would send you a DVD in the mail, and then you would send it back to them. And they refused. Blockbuster famously lost all their money, went bankrupt, closed all their stores, and Netflix is one of the biggest streaming giants in the world. So it's a weird move that they're kind of taking a leaf out of Blockbuster's book and saying, no, come, you can buy food here and maybe even rent movies. Okay, and finally in the news. Natch, we weren't live yesterday. I pre-recorded the show on Monday night. We weren't live. Do you know what anniversary it was yesterday? An important one. Can you guess?
Yes, I watched it on Twitter. Yes.
Well, it was Tony Stark.
Yes.
Okay, dude. Yeah, give yourself a nivelazo. Jeez Louise.
Vaya nivelazo.
For those of you who don't know, yesterday was the anniversary of Tony Stark's. Well, no, actually the date and day of Tony Stark's death. Yeah, this is coming from Yahoo News. R.I.P. Tony Stark. Iron Man officially dies today, according to the MCU timeline. So yesterday, October the 17th, 2023, marked the official date of Tony Stark's death, according to the Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline. So R.I.P. Rest in peace, Tony Stark. In the climactic battle against Thanos Stark, known as Iron Man, used the Infinity Stones to defeat the villain. Oh, wow. And how much? Yeah, here's a question: how much time does the MCU have left? Because it seems like they're jettisoning fans pretty quickly. Did you see what Kevin Feige said yesterday, Natch?
No.
He wants to reboot the universe. He wants to start again. Well, he doesn't. Not immediately. I think by 2028. They're going to have a movie, Secret Wars, and it's going to lead to the rebooting, the reinvention of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So we get a new Tony Stark, we'd get a new, I suppose, Captain America, and things would begin pretty much from scratch. They're not going to replace every single character, but a lot of those we know and love will be recast. Do you feel like there can be another Iron Man aside from what's his name? Robert Downey Jr.? Difficult, right?
Difficult. Yeah, but the same happened to me with Spider-Man, and I love the current Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's great, right? What's his name? Tom Holland. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, look, it was some great casting, but I always thought, you know, when Chadwick Boseman passed away, sadly, after his battle with cancer, I thought, well, why the hell not just recast that character? Surely, like, the movie economy in these kind of movies is about the characters and not the actors, right? And I was interested and invested in T'Challa, the Black Panther's story, and it seemed ridiculous to me that they wouldn't recast the character. I mean, I get it. It was a tragic death, and, you know, but I think even if you'd have asked Chadwick Boseman, like, look, you know, do you mind if we recast the character? I'm sure he would have said yes. you know? Especially given that it was such an important character to the, you know, to the black community that are fans of Marvel. I mean, it just seems, you know, seems a little weird, but whatever. So yeah, look forward to a new MCU by 2028, 2029. Jeez, I don't even want to think about how old I'll be by the time they reboot this thing. I'll be in my 50s, still wearing Rock Band and superhero t-shirts, I hope. What? Tony Stark died yesterday, but Iron Man is alive forever, says Born to Iron Man. Yeah, true story. Yeah, well, who was it? It was Martin Scorsese, or perhaps it was Quentin Tarantino that said we're experiencing the death of the movie star and the birth of the famous character rather than the... And I'm kind of so used to the idea, because I grew up with James Bond, that every few years, you know, someone else would take up the mantle of that character. For me, they don't need to reboot the universe, just, you know, recast characters. Doesn't matter. I don't think it matters to many people who watch the films either. Anyway, guys, on that note, we're going to head straight into an unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
Okay, my friends, unpopular opinion time. Here we go. What is an unpopular opinion? It's a brain fart, un pedo cerebral, un pedo mental. I share it with you on my social media. You guys opine there, but the real decision makers are the wonderful people who join me live, our live audience, Born to Iron Man, Vero, Ronnie, The Bridge, Mr. Cruzando, Born to Iron Man. I've probably said that twice. Min. Well, no, there's a lot of you watching. Only a few of you participating. I'm watching you. So, today's unpopular opinion is cities should prioritize pedestrians, and cyclists over cars. Las ciudades deben dar prioridad a peatones y ciclistas sobre los coches. Okay, so I asked people on Instagram, what do you think they said, Natch?
True.
They did. Do you think by a little or by a lot?
By, I don't know, 60%.
93% true. Yeah, surprising to me. Because I used to have this argument with my partner quite a lot. Because I honestly believe the city centre of any place should be a green area. I don't think that, you know, I know. I'm already triggering a bunch of people in the chat. I know you hate me. But what you need to understand is that your tears are delicious and your anger only makes me more powerful. I think there should be green areas, man. Do you remember in the pandemic when, if you live in a big city through the lockdown, like I remember going out, walking my dog, you know, and just being able to breathe without smelling the smog and impurities that hang like a cloud over Madrid. By the way, guys, if you're an international listener, yes, we produce the show from Madrid, Spain. Yeah. And this phenomena happened in cities all over the world. If you've ever flown into a big city, especially Madrid, my God, as you fly in, you can see this big orange dome over the city. Not so much in recent years, but certainly in the past. And this was certainly a phenomenon that happened through the pandemic when people weren't allowed to move around. Oh my God, all of a sudden the air is clear. I can breathe, he says as a smoker, but whatever. Don't judge me. So here we go. Yeah, so the cities should prioritize pedestrians, peatones, and cyclists, ciclistas. Okay, so I thoroughly tortured the elves. They gave me some pro and con arguments with regards to this topic. Let's get into those right now. So agreeing with the statement, like the 93% of people on Instagram, prioritizing non-motorized transportation helps reduce greenhouse gas emissions and air pollutants. Cars, particularly those running on fossil fuels, contribute significantly to air pollution and climate change. Encouraging walking and cycling promotes physical activity. And you know, Natch, and to be fair to you, sir, and myself formally, and as does like electric scooters. You have to push them a little bit. Maybe not as much exercise as a bike or walking, but certainly more than traveling on a metro. You know? So congratulations to you. And formally me. Encouraging walking and cycling promotes physical activity, which can combat lifestyle diseases such as obesity, heart disease, etc. Additionally, reduced car usage minimizes pollution-related health issues. Yeah, like asthma and things like that. Come on. Next, urban mobility. In densely populated cities, cars can contribute to severe traffic congestion. Prioritizing pedestrians and cyclists can make transportation more efficient and accessible, reducing overall city congestion. And next, pedestrian and cyclist-friendly policies can lead to safer streets, less noise pollution, and higher quality of urban living spaces, making cities more livable and enjoyable. Again, I think most of the people who voted no are those people who see me all the time and say, they accuse me of either being like a right-wing fascist or a left-wing fascist. I mean, I'm not saying ban cars, right? I'm not saying ban cars. I'm not saying no cars in the city centre, but perhaps maybe public transport, maybe taxis, maybe, maybe certain delivery vehicles. Maybe we should be forcing all public transport, all kind of delivery vehicles that businesses depend on. Maybe we should be forcing those to be electric. And maybe we should be prioritizing the idea that if we want to get from A to B, we can use the two appendages we have dangling from our butts. They're more commonly known as legs. Come on, guys. I don't drive, so I walk around everywhere. I take public transport everywhere. And guess what? It's probably, given the amount of frozen pizza I consume, it's probably the only reason I'm not overweight. Okay, so let's continue. There were a few people who voted no, quite a few people. Let's see what their opinions might have been. So here we go. Restructuring a city to accommodate more pedestrians and cyclists might require significant funding. This includes building bike lanes, widening sidewalks, and altering traffic patterns, which can be expensive. Yeah, but isn't that a good... I shouldn't editorialize through this, but I'm going to anyway. But isn't that a good investment? Like, how many ridiculous things has your city spent money on? I know in Madrid, I think the number one hobby of city officials is digging up the roads. Madrid will be beautiful when it's finished. We're just gonna dig up a hole here. What are you doing? I don't know. Yeah, no, we're just digging a hole. Causing massive traffic jams. Come on. Next. Inconvenience for motorists. Oh, poor motorists. Here we go. Reducing road space for cars can inconvenience motorists, leading to potential increases in traffic congestion and commute times, especially in cities where public transportation is not robust. Surely, if public transportation is not robust, that's a problem that needs to be fixed. I don't know. Okay, next, the economic impact. Limiting car traffic might affect local businesses, especially in areas where customers primarily travel by car. This could deter patrons and deliveries, possibly hurting the local economy. Are we going to pretend that people care about the local economy when, most of us buy our products from Amazon? Or we go to supermarkets? Nach, when was the last time you went to a carniceria?
Oh, a lot of time.
Carniceria, by the way, is a butcher's. And the last time you went to a fruteria?
Well, to a specific fruteria, not in the Auramas.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, exactly. So now all of a sudden we care about the little guy. Come on. If anything, my friends, these supermarket chains that exist on the outskirts of the city, they're dotted around like Starbucks to make it uber convenient. If anything, those are the ones that will suffer. And maybe the local businesses in the city centre will receive some kind of a boost to their economy. I don't know. Sorry, I'm editorializing again. Let's get into the final point where they disagree, the con list. Here we go. In many places, especially larger cities or less dense areas, commuting by foot or bike isn't practical due to long distances or geographical challenges. This can also limit accessibility for those unable to walk or cycle. Again, elves. I'm not saying we're going to ban all cars. I'm just saying we're going to prioritize non-motorized transportation. Or maybe, hell, or even prioritize electric and electric motored by electricity, or powered by electricity, or powered by the steam of the human being. You know? Why not? Why does that sound so bad? Why does that terrify people? Let's take a quick... Oh, no, we're not. Woo! Guys, you've made some amazing comments there in the chat. So, you know, that's my opinion. I honestly do believe this. I don't believe all the topics I do on the unpopular opinions. They're not all mine. But this one is. And I'm interested in your opinion. So I will post a poll in the chat. Should cities prioritize pedestrians and cyclists over cars? Peatones y ciclistas sobre los coches. I think so, but that's just my opinion, and no one cares about that. We care about yours. So you're going to tell me, guys, so many things you could have been doing this morning. Instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me, and it means the world. See you soon. Hey guys, if you'd like to support the show, you can do so on Patreon. That's patreon.com/professional bohemian. There you'll find VODs of the episodes as they are recorded live, blogs, vlogs, and behind-the-scenes content. If you'd like to watch the show live, you can do so on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, and you can participate in the polls we use in the show on Instagram @professional bohemian or Twitter @probo, PROBOH. Okay, on with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. You're listening to the Probo Show live. It is currently 9 a.m. Central European Time, 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 p.m. for our friends in the Philippines and Hong Kong. How are you doing out there, friends? If you've just tuned in, well. What are you doing here so late? Come on. We heard about the SEC making quite a bold claim that AI, or the use of AI in the banking sector, could possibly cause a financial crash within a decade. Sounds to me like, what? AI is going to, unlike all the financial crashes you humans have caused. Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, no. This sounds to me like, bankers and people in the stock market sector just trying to kind of cause panic. Don't replace us. We start replacing the politicians, and then we come for the bankers. Don't worry. Then we looked at Netflix planning to open brick-and-mortar locations. Or sitios físicos or locaciones físicas. I don't know how you'd say it. But yeah, interesting move, given that their fame started as kind of as an intangible brand, right? In fact, back in the day, we spoke about how Blockbuster had the opportunity to buy Netflix, and they didn't. Probably in part because they weren't seen to have a physical kind of presence. Ooh, the vote has finished. Interesting. Oh my God. All right, we'll get into it in a second. And then we looked at the fact that yesterday was the day, according to the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline. Yesterday was the day that Tony Stark died. R.I.P. Tony Stark. Thoughts and prayers. And then we moved on to today's unpopular opinion. But before we get into that, just a quick reminder: there will be no Probo Show on the radio tomorrow. How do you get your fix? One of two ways, my friends. You can either join me on twitch.tv/professional bohemian, or that's tonight at 6 p.m., or you can subscribe to the podcast on all good podcast directories, and you can find the show there. We're going to be recording it tonight. It will go live tomorrow. All right, my friends, today's unpopular opinion is cities should prioritize pedestrians and cyclists over cars. Quite a decisive result from Instagram, but they are not the decision makers. The decision makers are the people who join me in the live audience, twitch.tv/professional bohemian. So here we go. Mr. Cruzando says, 100% completely true. Min says, I think in most of the cities, they should be equal. But in the city centre, it should be full focus on pedestrians and cyclists. Vero says, true, but not all cities, due to their layout, have the possibility to accommodate cyclists and pedestrians. What should be taken into account is public transport. Both trains and buses, at least here in Madrid, should have higher frequency in many places. Oh, God. Such another painful trip on the metro, Natch. It is as hot as the surface of the sun in that thing. And you've just got your face jammed into some big man's cleavage. It was just so busy. Line 10 is the worst. It's just the worst. Ugh. Anyway, let's continue. Rob, too much digging causes potholes. True story. Causing me to break 6 ribs on my electric scooter. Okay, Eugene has a good point here. We're going to give him a Pro Bowl proved in a second. Let me get to it. He says, Eugene joins us from Russia. We've got an international cast today. We've got Min from the Netherlands. We've got people from the States, England, I believe, Spain, Russia. So Eugene is listening to us from Russia. He says, it depends on the weather. In my city, it's very cold and there is a lot of snow. It's not very convenient for cycling. Now, that is something I hadn't considered. It's true. Like, how are people going to move around if the weather isn't permitting you to cycle or even walk? I know in England, when I was a kid, where I'm from, in the north of England, the city streets are so icy, it's actually dangerous just to walk down the street. A lot of broken bones, friends. How do we solve that? Perhaps better public transport. I mean, at the end of the day, you park your car, you have to walk from your car to your office. Either way, right? And the fact that some cities aren't capable, they don't have the infrastructure to build bike lanes. Look, if there are city streets, I think there's enough room for bike lanes. In Nice, I was in Nice recently. In Nice, there are literally half the street is a cycle lane and half the street is for cars. You know? I don't know. It just makes a lot of sense to me. Let's continue anyway. Rodney says, prioritizing cycling would help a lot for health. I agree wholeheartedly. Rob, I'm 100% with you on this one, says The Bridge. Hey, Bridge, says Min. Everyone's saying hello to each other. A lot of love in the audience today. Maybe it's more difficult in Russia, but in the Netherlands, we clean cycle paths the same way as the main street when it comes to snow. True story. You can salt the street, right? Okay. Let's get into some messages I received on Instagram. Tina, first-time writer to the show, she says, absolutely, cities need to change their game. Prioritizing pedestrians and cyclists reduces our carbon footprint. Yeah, okay. Luis, I don't know if you're English or Spanish, says the shift is not only beneficial but essential. Modern cities thrive through smart design, and prioritizing pedestrians and cyclists creates more accessible, space-efficient, and environmentally resilient urban areas. My God. Luis, you're way too intelligent to be listening to this show. Finally, let's see. Derek here says, I get where people are coming from, but you've got to consider workers like me. What about those who rely on driving for their bread and butter? There's got to be a balance, or else it's just fixing one thing and breaking another. Again, I assume, Derek, you are maybe a taxi driver or a delivery driver, working for, maybe one of these apps or something. I don't know. But look, I'm not saying ban cars. I'm just saying prioritize the other modes of transportation, particularly in a big city. I mean, God, I don't know what parking's like in your barrio, Natch, but it's just like a nest of cars out there. In my barrio, and all you hear is people complaining about how little parking there is. Where do you park? I'm like, in my house. That's where my patinete lives. It lives in my living room. That's where I park. And do I suffer getting around? No. I walk, I take public transport. The money I save from not having to pay insurance, petrol, parking, I can move anywhere in the city. And on those occasions where I need to take my dogs to the vet or I get a taxi. And I'm still spending less money than having a car. And that's a fact, friends. That's a fact. I mean, it's sad to say, but I mean, a lot of us, we kind of relate having a car to freedom. And I think that in many cases, at least in Europe, I understand the States is different. Things are much more spread apart. But at least in Europe, quite often, that famous phrase, the things you own you, I think that applies quite often to our cars. And let's continue anyway. Some people in the chat. In winter here, it's often 20 degrees below zero. Jeez Louise. Oh, that's intense. Vero says, I think here in Madrid, works will continue until they find the treasure. Promo approved for Vero, please.
Promo approved.
It all started with Alberto Ruiz Gallardón. Good morning, Nuria Tam, joining us as well in the chat. So what did you guys say? So 93% of people on Instagram said true. But in our chat, it was a different story. Which is weird because I'm only seeing people say, I agree. So I made the statement, cities should prioritize pedestrians and cyclists over cars. And you guys said 50-50. A 50-50 split. My God. So yeah, an interesting topic. And I think probably a 50-50 split is quite, it's rational to think that. Again, I hear a lot of fear when I do a lot of these unpopular opinions, even when I don't particularly believe in what I'm arguing for. But as I said before, especially here in Europe, where cities tend to be more compact and we've got easy foot access to pretty much anything we need, and where we don't, we can get a bike. Like the idea, we are slowly shifting as a society, and I know a lot of you are going to disagree with this, away from the idea of ownership. For example, I have a driving license. I can walk down the street right now, get one of these rideshare cars, where you pay via an app and you drive it where you need to, you park it in one of their authorized parking spaces, done. Or I can rent a bicycle, or I can rent a scooter. Our idea of ownership is slowly shifting. If you don't believe that, cancel your Netflix, cancel your Spotify, your YouTube premium subscriptions, because, maybe go out and buy DVDs. No, you don't need to have physical media. Our idea of ownership is changing. We don't need to own the things that we use, right? And the more that shifts, the less need there will be, or I think the less compulsion there'll be to necessarily want to own a mode of transportation. I think that's outdated and eventually will be seen as an archaic mindset. But one thing we can't deny, friends, is the air quality in most of our cities is trash. And if the coronavirus pandemic, the lockdowns, worldwide lockdowns, taught us anything, is that we are breathing in a lot of garbage, and when we just take a moment to stop, it seems like our cities become cleaner and more healthier environments to be in. How can we facilitate that more in our day-to-day lives without a virus that kills millions of people having to be involved? How do we evolve as people to facilitate a cleaner city? I think one of the ways we probably could do that is not ban cars. No way. But certainly maybe prioritizing cyclists and pedestrians over cars might be a significant step forward. And on that note, friends, we're going to go to today's 100 Humans. Oh my God, friends, it was a long walk to work today across snow-capped mountains and through river valleys, and on that walk, I encountered 100 humans, and I asked them all a question. Today's question was, name a place where you're asked to turn off your cell phone or your mobile phone. El móvil, vamos. I asked them that question, they gave me their answers. I am in possession of the top 7 answers right here. Your job in the audience is to identify those top 7 answers. Nombra un lugar donde te pidan que apagues el móvil. Apagues. Am I pronouncing that right, Natch? Yeah? Okay, thank you. All right. Nuria Tam says it's very expensive to maintain a car. True story. I spend less money taking public transport, and on those rare occasions I need to take something somewhere, get a taxi. I spend way less money doing that, for sure. All right, Natch, as always, we go to the oracle first. Name a place you're asked to turn off your cell phone.
Hospital?
A hospital, says Natch. A hospital. Nuriatam agrees. Is hospital there? Unsurprisingly, yes it is, Natch. Well done. Well done, Natch. Well done, Nuriatam. With 43 of the 100 humans saying hospital, it's the number one answer. Oh, well done. All right, let's get into the rest of the chat. Eugene says a library. A library. Is a library there? Yes, it is. Well done. A library is there with 6 of 100 humans. It is the number 6 answer, the 6th most popular answer. Well done, Eugene. You just marked that one off. All right, there you go. Library. Well done. Not biblioteca, right? Is it? Yeah, biblioteca. What's a bookshop? Libreria. Okay, be careful. If you're a Spanish listener, that's a false friend. Oh, killing it today. All right, let's see. A church, says the bridge. A church. Is a church there? Iglesia. Yes, it is. Well done. 12 of 100 humans said that one, and it's in 3rd place. Woo! You guys are doing really well today. Born to Iron Man also said during a mass, which would be held, we suppose, in a church. All right. The bridge also said library. Well done. A theatre, says Eugene. And Vero says cinema, theatre as well. Movie theatre, theatre. Is it there? Yes, it is. Well done. You know, if you meant a theatre for theatrical performances en directo live, you know, the old school movie theatre, right? El cine. I'll accept it. So, movie theatre is there with 16 of 100 humans. It's the number 2 answer. Well done. All right, let's continue. An airplane. Ronnie, out of nowhere, he says an airplane. Is an airplane there? Yes, it is. Well done. My God, you guys ate a good breakfast this morning. What's going on? Not a single wrong answer. Airplane, avion, it's there. 10 of 100 humans said that one. Okay. Now it gets a little difficult. I have answers like operating theatre, a classical music place, at work, in meetings, in a concert. None of those are there. None of those. Wap, wap, wow. Okay, but someone said at work there. Nuriatam said at work, I believe. Was it Nuriatam? No, Born to Iron Man said at work. Not at work. Think maybe like, in my case, 20 years younger. It's an obligation. You have to go there every day, and they probably would ask you to turn off your phone. Full of rules, these places. Where am I talking about, Natch? What do you think?
I don't know.
All right. Let me give you more clues. Más pistas.
Plateau? TV plateau?
No. TV, well, yes, but it's not there. This is a place where young people go to increase their supposedly increase their knowledge. You know, you're supposed to be paying attention when these young people are there, instead of playing Snake. I don't know what young kids do nowadays, Natch. Playing Snake, I assume. Using it as a calculator. I don't know. Okay, class says Nuriatam. The bridge says college. I'll accept those answers. It's school. Well done. Natch knew that one. He was nodding. I knew. I could see. Okay, final answer. The number 7 answer. This is a play. Ooh, if you do something wrong, you have to go to this place. And they decide, or if you're accused of doing something, you go to this place and they decide whether you're guilty, not guilty. Well, where am I talking about, Natch?
At court?
A court. Vero says a court too. Is it there, though? Yes, it is. Well done. Yeah, you're told to turn off your phone if you are in court. Well done. All right, yeah, some dodgy 100 humans today. 4 of them. All right, so let's go through the list. In position number 7. When I asked 100 humans to name somewhere, you're asked to turn off your cell phone. Yeah, 4 of them said court. Tribunal, would you say? Tribunal? Yeah, thank you. Okay, in position number 6. With 6 of 100 humans, it was biblioteca, library. In position number 5. Again, with 6 of 100 humans, was school, escuela. In position number 4 was an airplane, un avión. 10 of 100 humans said that one. In position number 3 was church, iglesia in Spanish. In position number 2 was a movie theater, the cinema, el cine. And finally, in position number 1 was hospital. Well done, you guys. Well done, Natch. Jail, says Nuriatan. Don't go to court, just go directly to jail, like in Monopoly. All right, let's go to today's Complete the News.
Complete the news!
All right, friends, you know what this is. It's Complete the News time. For all of those of you who are watching but not joining us in the chat, perhaps you're too nervous to express your opinion. I understand that. But friends, this is your moment. Because all you have to write is A, B, or C. So I'm going to give you a news headline, un titular. But I'm going to leave out some important information. Then I will give you 3 options. Your job, using those options, is to complete the news. All right, here we go. A German couple gets married at McDonald's because they wanted blank. That's a good one. A German couple get married at McDonald's because they wanted blank. This piece of news coming from themessenger.com. All right. But what did they want? Was it A, the ultimate United States wedding? Was it B, to save the money for the honeymoon? Or C, they wanted Big Macs at the reception? Okay. Oof. So, a German couple, una pareja alemana, se casa en un McDonald's porque querían. Sorry, my bad. All right. It's auto-correction, Natch. I'm not saying nivelazo, I'm just saying, I'm on a good road. So, a German couple gets married at McDonald's because they wanted A, the ultimate United States wedding, the ultimate, la definitiva. La boda definitiva de los Estados Unidos, I guess. I don't know. Was it B, to save money for the honeymoon? Ahorrar dinero para la luna de miel? Or de miel, pardon. Or C, because they wanted Big Macs at the reception. Do you call it the reception in Spanish? La recepción?
For a wedding.
Yeah,
the
party after. All right.
Yes.
All right, let's see. What do you think, Natch? Where are you leaning today?
A.
You're leaning A. They wanted the ultimate United States wedding. I'm not going to say racist, but, kind of racist. Let's see what the chat is saying. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Vero and Nuritan, convite. Can we get a nivelazo for these guys? Killing it.
Que nivelazo.
Thank you for contributing to my Spanish lexicon. I appreciate it. Seems like the chat is leaning towards C. I see a few A's, B, but mainly C's in the chat. They wanted Big Macs at the reception. All right, let's see. All right, so a German couple gets married at McDonald's because they wanted... The answer was A. Oh, dear. Because they wanted the ultimate United States wedding. Is that not a little bit racist? Oh, Germany. Okay, but this is a true story. A German couple celebrated their love for McDonald's and travel by getting married at a McDonald's in an outlet in a small town in Michigan. The Munich-based couple, self-proclaimed mega fans of the fast food chain, enjoyed a meal of cheeseburgers, fries, McNuggets and Cokes with their 23 guests, all in wedding attire. The event even featured the McDonald's mascot, Grimace. Oh my God. That's horrific, man. So there you go, yeah, a German couple. Would you get married? Where did you get married, Natch? I assume it was like a church.
A church and then a hotel.
Yeah. Like I'm, I have no immediate plans to get married. But I imagine it'll be quite a solemn, quick affair. Like somewhere where you have to just go sign something. You invite like 2 people. Those are the kind of weddings I like. But I mean, I've got to admit, I'm a little sold on the whole McDonald's thing. You slip an onion ring on their finger. It sounds like the way forward. What, says Vero? It takes all sorts. They are German after all, Rob says the bridge. All right, friends. Well, there you go. That's us wrapping up today's show. We have covered so much from, what could be some fear-mongering by the SEC declaring that there might be a financial crash due to the reliance on AI by the financial sector. We looked at Netflix going to open brick-and-mortar physical locations in the future, coming to a city near you in 2025. And that, yesterday was the sad anniversary of Tony Stark. How is that a news story? I have no idea. That fictional character died. But there you go. It is. Guys, what a show. Thank you so much for contributing to what is the best part of my day every single day. Again, don't forget, tonight at 6 p.m, we've got a very special Probo show after dark for you. So don't miss it. Twitch.tv/professional bohemian. Bohemio profesional, pero en inglés. Friends, so many things you could have been doing today, but instead of doing those things, you took the time to spend some time with me and Natch, and it means the world. I'll see you guys later.